So Simon, did it feel like a loss actually in the end, coming away from Zebra without what you would expect to have been 4 points potentially? Or were you happy with the draw in the end?
No, I think over the last couple of weeks in Europe in particular, we've been performing very well, and no disrespect to Zebra, but with the side we took out there and the results that we've had over the last couple of weeks against the teams we've played, we would have expected to get a result and get 4 points at least. But you know, sometimes you go to a place where you need to be really accurate, and you need to make sure you still want to make sure you get things spot on in your own game, and we didn't do that. And it wasn't so much what they did to us; it was more what we didn't do ourselves, or what we did do in terms of our error and our accuracy. It doesn't matter where you go or who you're playing against. Then it makes it very difficult to winning a rugby.
Two fantastic games in the Heineken Cup back to back. Is it difficult then to go away to a place like that and keep the momentum?
It shouldn't be, and that's my job and the other coach's job to make sure that we don't lose that focus. Those are the games, come the end of the season, that could prevent us from making that top four, or so it's vital that you don't lose focus on the big picture, and that we've got to go to places like Zebra and Connacht, and places where we've had some success in the past, but also we've got to make sure that we're on our money, and whether we've got a couple of games coming up, away games in Leinster and Connacht, and got to go to Munster before Christmas. All those games last year, we took something away from them, and they're really important to us, to our qualification for the top four, and to make sure that we better what we did last season.
Yeah, talking about that, it was a really crucial month actually, looking back retrospectively last season. Big wins out in Connacht and Munster with a lot of new faces coming in. Again, a lot of internationals lost. This is another key month for you, isn't it, really? Going into the LV and then back into our regular.
Yeah, it's massive. We do lose a number of players from our squad, and we always know that's going to happen to us, but we got to make sure that when players go away, we react positively. And like you say, last year we had very good wins out in Connacht, out in Munster, we had wins in Edinburgh in those periods, and places where we haven't won for a couple of years. So we've got to make sure that we beat Ulster here on the weekend, and we start this month off really, really well with a couple of LV games in the middle of two other really important Pro 12 games. So it's a massive month for us, and while the other lads are away playing, for Wales, we've got to make sure that we improve and try and consolidate and go up the league. Where we are at the moment isn't good enough.
So 8 internationals missing. Is it more of a disruption in the backs than the pack? Would you see it as that, considering how consistent you've been in terms of your selection for?
Yeah, certainly we lose more backs to the Welsh squad. We'll lose John Barclay and Ken Owens and Emma Phillips to the forward pack. But yeah, the pack selection can be more consistent, and it gives an opportunity as well for some backs who haven't had that much game time to really stake a claim, and I think that's a real important point, that it's not so much about the boys who are leaving, it's about the boys who are staying here and getting the best out of them now.
Again, it was similar to last season. It's new energy almost, with a lot of new faces coming in. They know they've got to compete really well if they want to be part of the team in December, when got a huge back-to-back with Clermont, so it can bring some sort of real new vigour into the side.
Yeah, and that always, you'd hope that comes through. It's been evident in training this week. We've been a little bit tough on them this week, but we probably needed to be, and hopefully that will show in the performances over the next 4 or 5 weeks, where we have a couple of real good opportunities for players to make impact and stake claims for the big month in December.
And Ulster, we all remember the semi-final. Do the players sort of feel that pain still? It's time, payback time, and they come here, or is it just a case of, right, this is all about the league campaign this season?
I think a bit of both. I think we didn't do ourselves justice out there until probably the last 15-20 minutes, and then the game was probably already beyond us. So I think there's a number of players in there that really want to make up for some of those games against Ulster last year. We didn't beat them last year in 3 attempts, and I think it's important that we focus on this season, but there'll be a bit of an edge to that, I think, as well, with certain individuals that they'll want a bit of payback from last season's form against Ulster.
And presumably no better place to come back home to prove that point as well. I mean, obviously Ulster flying high at the moment, the 6 wins in the trot. They've got a lot of quality across their side. Probably exactly the game you want really to come back to after loss.
Yeah, exactly. And we know that if we play like we did against Ebre, then we're going to struggle. If we improve in many areas and we're far more accurate, and our intensity is where it was probably a couple of weeks ago in a couple of Heineken Cup games, then we can look forward to a good performance. And that performance, for me, more often than not, gets the result. And it's important that we get a win this weekend, but it's important we play well also. And I think to a man, the players are pretty focused on that. So far in training, it's been pretty intense, and there's been a little bit of man-on-man work, a bit of contact work, which never goes amiss. And I think we'll hopefully see that rewarded in a performance on the weekend.
Okay, we look forward to it, Simon. Good luck at the weekend.
Thanks.